Hi guys, Watch Fanatic here. This is a watch I bought about 10 months ago. I was going to start collecting Swatch Ironies. I've got a really good mint game starter. I bought this one. This is the Rough and Rugged Swatch Irony from about 1990s. I don't know the exact year, but it's 1990s. And I paid on eBay about £10 for this, if I recall. Might have even been less. It's in quite rough condition, very scratched up, and I polished it up as best as I could. It had a lot of graunching on this shoulder here, which I've polished up as good as I can, but made a bit of a mess of it because it's kind of like a chromy type coating on this solid, I think it's stainless steel. I'm not quite sure what's going on or what the material is that these cases are made out of. I think it is stainless steel, but there was some really strong graunching on this side. Excuse me, knocking the phone over. And I used a Dremel on here to get it as good as I could. So I'm not particularly in love with this watch. The strap was kind of okay, but it's just a terrible strap. These things are kind of bent, and it doesn't matter how well I try to bend them back. The tabs keep coming out of the lugs because the Swatch Ironies and all swatches have this unique kind of lug with the two inner parts there. So it's not a traditional watch strap. And mucking around with those, they kept coming out, and then the strap itself has come apart. It probably could be fixed. I fiddled around with it for a little while and I couldn't fix it. And I don't like it anyway. I hate this strap. So to cut a long story short, I thought, I wonder if I can find just a cheap replacement strap on AliExpress, because I think I'm going to sell this watch. I don't wear it. You know, I'm probably into it for about £10, so I don't want to spend too much money on it. So having a look on AliExpress, there are some straps which are designed for the Swatch Ironies. And this was the cheapest. I was looking basically for the cheapest one that I thought wouldn't look too awful. Because I don't want to spend too much money, because if I'm going to sell it, I'm trying to get some of my money back. So this one is a kind of like a NATO style strap, just in its look. It's not a NATO strap at all, it's just a two-piece. But it's got that kind of military canvas look about it. And it comes with the tool. I've never taken one of these bracelets off a Swatch Irony, or any Swatch actually. So we'll see how we're going to get on with that. So this strap was just, I think it was about £2.50 after tax and delivery. We're talking about £5, so not a bad deal. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I've never done this before, so I'm literally going to just wing it. So if you have got a Swatch Irony and the strap is broken, then this could be an option. You don't want to spend too much money. So let's see how we do this. So it's coming with this, which hopefully will just open up. Yeah. And right, okay, so in the little package there, I'm trying to get some light on because I've decided to do this at the end of the day. The light's fading a bit. It was going around the back of the house. So I've got a bit of additional light on here. So we have the strap itself. Now, they did say on a couple of the reviews I was looking on AliExpress about this, that this is quite a stiff strap, but people say it should break in. I have to be honest, it is pretty stiff feeling. at first glance, but I think it will soften up with a bit of use. But it's not flimsy. It's quite a firm stiffness to it. Kind of where you bend it, it almost stays. Well, so we've got a tool here, like a pusher tool. Okay, so that's a spring bar tool. I mean, really, for £2.50, that's not bad. You've got a nice little tool. I've got loads of these now. Every time you buy a strap from AliExpress, they generally give you a spring bar and pusher tool. That's one of the better ones. It's got a large plastic middle section to it, which you can get hold of. Also, we have 3 replacement pins. We only need 2, and we've got 2 in the watch as it is. So this might give us a clue on how to get these pins out, because I'm guessing they push from one way only. I thought they might be split pins, but they're not. So are they the same diameter each end? I'm just seeing if there's any difference. They just look like a rod. So I think they push in one way, and the difference is the holes on the actual lugs, I'm guessing. So with this pushing tool, looking at the lugs, it goes in there, but the other side, it's more proud here. So I'm guessing we're going to push this way to push it out. So let's put it on here, give it a firm push and see if it pushes the pin through. That was a nice start, I think it has. And there you go, it's pushed the... Okay, 1 second. Just grabbed my long nose pliers because I can't pull that out with my fingers. It's a little bit stiffer than that. Okay, so that was very simple. And the offending part we can take out. So we'll do this, hopefully the same for this side. That pushed easier, although not quite as far, so harder to get on. I think what I will do is use one of these pins so I can push it a little bit further, because the pusher only goes so far. There we go. Now it's come out the other end. That's one of the new pins I was using. Pull that out. So there is the watch without the strap. Now we just need to put the new strap on. At this stage, I probably could give the lugs a little bit of a clean. So what I'll do now is, out of camera, I'm just going to use a toothbrush and a little bit of window lean or something, or warm soapy water, just to give a clean these lug holes. And then I'll come back. So I've given those a good clean with a toothbrush, a little bit of warm soapy water, and then just kind of dried them off with a towel. So we've got nice clean lug holes now. So we're not going to put the new strap onto anything grotty. Okay, so the buckle end always goes to the top, if I remember rightly. So this being fabric, let's see if it does line up. And it will be easy to move around if it doesn't. Okay, so we put that in. And then it's just a matter of pushing the pin in. line it up. Let's grab one of the new pins, see how they perform. Okay. So I might have to push this down onto something because it's a bit stiff. Okay, just got it started. I'm going to use these to push it. Just doing a little bit at a time, make sure it all goes through. Why isn't it going all the way through? It's obviously got to line up with this hole at the end, because you're dropping that straight in and it needs to go exactly to the hole behind it at the other end. So I guess that's the tricky part. Yeah, this is the first time I've done this, so I'm not too happy with the way that's pushing. Let's pull it back out again. So I'm investigating what's going on here because it didn't push through nicely. I don't want to bend anything. So I've taken the strap off it just to see what we've got, and it's pushed through these quite nicely. Let's just see if it does go all the way through. Yeah. Okay. Let's push that back out again. I don't know why I didn't want to do that with the strap on. Try it again, make sure we've got this around the right way. Now I've had to pin in and out a couple of times, it's a bit easier to push it in. Before it was very stiff. I'm literally just using my fingernail to pretty much get that home. I'll just push it in to the last bit, being careful not to scratch. That's it. So that's one of the pins that came with the strap. I don't know if they're fractionally longer than the original pins because that's sticking out slightly. It's not quite flush. See if I can push it a bit harder. Yeah, it's a little bit better. The other ones were a little bit, yeah, it's not completely flush, is it? But they do stick out a little bit. Yeah, I think what I might do is use the original pins because they didn't stick out so far. In fact, they didn't stick out at all, did they? There was a slight... So the pins that come with this seem to be a little bit too long. So I've got the problem of trying to push this back. Not easy. So let's pull this pin out and let's have a look what's going on. So these are the old pins here, not this one. So that's one of the old pins, the original pins. And you can see there's a big difference. So the pins that are supplied with this are too long. So I'm going to use, I mean, you could probably cut those down, couldn't you? And to be fair, they went right through and they were a little bit pried. So they do the job, but I think I want to use the old pins because you couldn't see them then. They weren't protruding. So when you look at the holes, we know one hole is bigger than the other, I think. Is that right? They only push in one way. Yeah, they're only pushing that one. That's fractionally larger hole than that one. So it doesn't go it'll go this way, but it won't go all the way out. Because that's the original pin, I can just push it in. Now that should push all the way home, not come out of here. It does come out slightly. So that's the original one, which you can keep flush. Right, so I'm having a new think about these. These pins, I think, can go in either way. I thought perhaps it was machined to only come one way. Let's just push it with this one. So it goes that way, or it goes this way, I think. No, that hole is definitely smaller. Or these pins are a bit more worn, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, that's on there. Don't quite understand that. It only comes in one way or only go in the other way. But it seems like you can push them either way, but you can only put them in. Well, the new pins anyway are a little bit too large. Perhaps these ones are a bit more worn, so it's starting to come through. Or perhaps the pins that are in it aren't correct. And the ones they've given us are more correct. Don't know. Okay, let's put this one on. Again, I'll go back with the old pin because at least it doesn't stick out. I can push that in by hand. And again, it'll push all the way through. But I think it just sits in there. It's not a big deal. It won't come out on its own. It's tight enough where it will just sit in there. It's not gonna... Shouldn't do anyway. We've got spare pins. If it does decide to come out, but it was on that metal bracelet forever, so since the 1990s, no doubt. So here we have the finished product. And it seems to fit pretty well. I think the colour is pretty good against the silver looking watch. Let's see what it looks like on the wrist. Move this out of the way. So here we have it. It doesn't look too bad. It's given it a different look completely. Because it's quite a thick kind of strap, it looks more purposeful with the watch itself. I think anything too flimsy, because the watch itself is quite chunky, you don't want anything too thin. So it's quite a thick kind of fabric strap. And I think that works pretty well considering it's a chunky looking watch. But the tabs sit pretty nicely. And they look to be pretty much the correct side, not too much a gap. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I mean, do I keep it? I don't know. I'll probably have a go at selling it. But if I don't get at least what I paid for it, I'll just keep hold of it because that strap has given it a bit of a new lease of life. Maybe I might even wear this now. I think it looks better on this than it does on this horrible expanding one, which was broken anyway. I'll keep the other pins just in case knocking over the tripod again. Yeah, I'll keep the other pins safe just in case those pins do start to move themselves out, but they seem to be all right. Okay, there you go. That's how you replace a strap or bracelet on a Swatch Irony with a cheap strap from AliExpress. They have different ones on there, different styles. This was literally the cheapest one that I could find. Not bad really for £2.50, probably a fiver all in all. I'm happy with that. Even came with that tool, which is handy. So, I mean, if you went and bought one of those individually, you're probably going to spend a couple of £2. So not bad at all. And we've got some spare pins. I hope this was useful if you are thinking of swapping out the bracelet on your Swatch Irony. Thanks for watching.